Hello, my little weirdos. I have questions. The questions I have today, or at this moment, pertain to the SAVE Act, if it goes into effect, that you have to have your birth name, your birth certificate match your current ID, and how that can disenfranchise a lot of married women or women that were like widowed or divorced that never got their name changed back to their maiden name. Fortunately, I actually did get my name changed back to my maiden name, my birth name. And when I got to New Jersey, they were already doing that. I had to get my ID. I was pissed as hell. I had my birth certificate, my actual birth certificate with the actual, like, 3D seal. I mean, the actual seal, like, it's a metal seal. And that wasn't good enough. I mean, it was yellow, yellow, crinkled, been taped, that's been yellowed, but it was perfectly legible. And they wouldn't take it. It was from the hospital. They wouldn't take it. I had to spend like $17 or $27 or some damn thing to go, and they talk about the star. That's probably what they're talking about right there. Covering up the rest of the ID. But yeah, in the corner is that little star. I think the color of the star is different for different states. But I was so frustrated when that was like 13 years ago when I came back to Arizona or New Jersey, and it was aggravating because I had to get that, and you had to get something. It's like all this bullshit because I've never had a passport. I went to Montreal, Quebec, but I was in high school, so that was kind of, when you do school trips like that, it's, yeah. And when I was living in Arizona, you'd hop over from Nogales, Arizona to Nogales, Mexico, and then it wasn't, you didn't need anything to go through, just to walk through and then walk back, only stay there for the day. So I had that 13 years ago, but that was just something, didn't have to do with like voting, with the name being the same. It was just, instead of being, what they're trying to do, I think, in the different states is instead of having birth certificates that are in different hospitals, they're now being grouped by county. And that's how they're being kept track of, or something like that. Because there's so many. I don't know if that's the correct, I'm telling you now, but that is the explanation I was given back then. Don't know if that is the actual factual, but, so I already have all that shit. I'm like, and I don't even have a passport. I'm just like, how did I do that? Because at the time, I was one of the few that was like, because it was only people that were newly coming in to New Jersey, and that was, so just so I could do voter. But my thought is, back to the revolution. I mean, no taxation without representation, correct? So if they want to disenfranchise all those women that aren't going to be able to jump through all those hoops, or that don't have the money to jump through all those hoops. I don't have 100 and whatever hell, 30 something dollars to get a basic passport. Even if I had all the, the documents and I just have to go and pay, it's $130 for a basic passport. I ain't fucking got that, and they know that. So my feeling is, if they're going to disenfranchise the women and not be able to, or even adopted, people, anything like that that could have, missed something in the birth, which normally would not have been that horrible. Now it's going to be impossible to like get fixed or worked out. But if they want to stop all those women from voting, maybe you'd like to not have their taxes anymore either, their federal income tax, because hey, if you don't let them have a say in how their government, how the country works, then they shouldn't have to do anything else. They shouldn't have to pay for the government that they don't get a say in. They don't benefit from. No taxation without representation. You want to keep us from voting, that's keeping us from being represented and our voices being represented. And therefore, you don't get our taxes. How about that, Donald?